Hi everybody, and welcome to the first installment of the Do Something series. In this video, I'm going to make a stool in Maya. I'm using Maya 2012, and so let's begin. I push the spacebar to bring the full screen of the perspective view. I push Alt and left mouse button to move around. So let's begin by going to the polygon shelf and creating a cylinder. In here, we'll make sure it's in the origin. Let's rename this from P-cylinder to seat. From there, let's take the inputs and let's change the height to 0.01. Now, if you press F and focus, you can see that it looks like a seat. Let's bring this up 2 so then we can see where it should be, because we're going to create a cylinder for the leg. Since a standard cylinder height is 2, it makes only sense to have the seat up 2. So let's move this over to the origin. And let's move this up 1. Let's change this to leg. As you can see, it's a pretty big leg. So what we should do is change it down. So let's go down to the inputs, change the radius to 0.03, and look at that. Looks like a nice little table, but we're here to make a table. So by pressing the W key or selecting the move modifier here, you can see the move tool, and let's move it out of ways. If you move it out to wherever you want, that makes it look good. Now, instead of just having a vertical cylinder, let's make it a little more realistic, and let's change to our select by component type, and let's select the bottom, and let's just slant it out just a bit. Looks good. Go back to your object type. Now let's select it, and now let's press Ctrl G to create a new group. What that's doing in effect is creating a new pivot point in the center, or the origin. And what we can do from here is, if we press Shift D, which means we want to duplicate but following transformations, let's then change the rotate Y to 90, and boom, look at that. We already have a second leg. From there, we want to create more. So all we really need to do now is press Shift D again, and one more time. This just makes things so much easier and faster, because now we don't have to worry about creating new cylinders and hoping they line up right and that they're perfectly where they should be, because doing this makes them exactly where they need to be. Now it's all nice and good, but let's make it a little more detailed. Let's add a cross piece to this. So let's go back up, create another cylinder, and throw it into the center there. Let's change everything here back to 0, and then let's change the rotate X to 45 degrees, rotate Z to 90 degrees, and it's still a little big. So let's change the radius here from 1 to 0.03, just like we did to the leg. Now, this is not a P-cylinder, it's a cross piece. Alright, and now all we need to do is let's bring it forward a bit, and then move it up. Now, it's always good to move around in this perspective view, just so you know you're getting it to the right location. Okay. Now by pressing R as the hotkey, or coming over and pressing the scale tool here, let's change this down a bit and bring it so it looks good. There we go. Doesn't that look good? Alright. So now let's click on the cross piece, and let's press Ctrl G again, creating another group and having another pivot point in the center. I like to be on the move tool. Alright, now let's press Shift D and duplicate it. Go back to the rotate Y, put in 90. And now just make sure you have your focus in your perspective, and then Shift D, Shift D. And voila, we have our nice little stool. Looks cool, looks good, great. There's something that you should be aware of. Because we did Control G, we created groups. So we have these groups just connected for all of these for every one that we duplicated. So let's clean those up and make our scene more efficient. So if you go to the window hypergraph hierarchy, you come up with this nice little group here. So what we want to do is let's delete, or first let's grab all of our stuff here that we had in groups, middle mouse button, drag. Now they're all gone. So let's take all our groups, select them, delete them. Oh, looks like we lost that group. Alright, now we should only have our seat, our floor legs, our cross piece. Okay. And now after we have them all selected, all we have to do is press Ctrl G, and we have our final group. So one group instead of multiple groups. Now Control double click, change that group name to Stool, and there you have it. Now we have our nice little stool right here with the whole object as a stool. And as you move it around, everything comes with it. So that's the good thing about groups. So, if you enjoyed this lesson, and hope you look forward to our other ones, and we'll worry about texturing in later episodes. Right now, I'm just worried about making simple geometry and getting people comfortable with that. So, thank you, and have a good rest of the day.